Guys, before the video starts, I'm trying to raise 300,000 meals for 1,000 families in Pakistan, Yemen, Somalia, Bangladesh, brothers and sisters, inshallah. Help us feed them this Ramadan to open and break their fast. And who recorded this then? Was it you or the other sister?
Maybe 30 seconds into them talking, so they approached us and they kept saying halal. We want to try halal. So we obviously assumed they meant we want to go to a halal food place.
You're harassing me. You're harassing me.
Why you laughing?
To a point where he was like, I want to sleep with you. Why won't you like let me sleep with you? And I was like, go put a headscarf on your mom and then sleep with her if you're that.
You said that you feel when Muslim men come and say to you, oh, mashallah, this, that, you feel rubbish about yourself. And you're like, oh, am I doing something wrong? Oh, is it the way I was dressed? Oh, is it this? Why do you have to feel like that? How can we have so many devices with so many apps which help us monitor our progress for our body, but none for the soul? Not only does it encourage you to read, it tells you how many verses you've read, how many pages you read, how long you've been on it, and best of all, the Hasana counter. Download the Qurani app now and have a Ramadan with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's book like you've never had before. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, brothers and sisters and dear friends. Hope you guys are well, inshallah. Welcome back to my channel. Today we've got an interesting video we're going to react to, and we're going to be actually reacting it with the 3 sisters who actually were sexually harassed. This is an ongoing problem. I've actually tackled this issue, I would say, a couple of weeks ago where I was driving past Barking, but I'll get into that inshallah in a minute. First I want to invite the sisters, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum, sisters.
Walaikum salam.
How are you guys doing? You okay?
Yes, we're okay.
Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. How's Ramadan going?
It's okay, alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah, that's good. That's good. Okay, sister, so what I want you guys to do, inshallah, is obviously there's 3 of you guys there now?
There's 2 of us. My little sister wasn't feeling too well. She came back from work and she couldn't come.
That's fine, no problem. So there's 2 of you guys there. But your sister was there, but she's not feeling well. Okay,
yeah,
so
she
what?
went in the video.
Okay, no problem, that's fine. So what I want you guys to do as well, inshallah, if you can run me through the day, like for example, what was you planning on doing? What was you planning on doing? And building up to the point of what actually happened.
So initially we had a plan to meet up just to go out and get drinks. So with Ramadan coming up, we thought it's better let's meet now because it's going to be harder later. So it was just literally an innocent plan just to go and get drinks and maybe just go for a walk, which is what we did. And we parked up near Marble Arch. And from there we went for a little walk, and then we decided that let's take some food home, just a takeaway, just something we can all go home and eat, because we didn't really have that plan. So it was kind of spontaneous. So the plan was just drinks, but then we decided to get food later before we went home. So we went for a walk through Bond Street and towards Oxford Street, and we saw some other sisters along the way as well.
They looked like uni students, but they were hijabis.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we saw them, and we asked them if they knew if there was any nice or anything place, like food place, especially halal, for us to eat. Or like to take away home, and they advised us to go around the side towards Regent Street, where Carnaby, I think it's Carnaby Street, towards that way. So they told us if you go that way, there's a lot of halal places over there, which you can eat. So because at this point we were thinking let's just leave it and go home, but then because they said it's just around the corner, we thought let's give it a go, and they mentioned Burgery and a few other places. So we started walking that way, and whilst we were walking just on the corner between Oxford Street and Regent Street, as we got there, there were 2 men that started approaching us. One of them was really, really tall. We didn't manage to catch him on the camera. He could have been anywhere between 6.5 to even pushing 7, I would say. And he had long black hair, and it was just open. His eyes were rolling back. But we realized there was something wrong with them just maybe 30 seconds into them talking. So they approached us and they kept saying halal. We want to try halal. So we obviously assumed they meant we want to go to a halal food place. So we responded saying, well, we're not 100% sure. Maybe if you go that way towards where Town is.
Sorry, I was on mute. I was thinking why. Yeah. Were they Muslims?
No. One of them was he looked black, and the other one looked Asian, like Chinese and mixed. So both of them approached us, and they were talking about halal, and obviously like we wanted to go and get halal food, so we thought they wanted to get halal food as well. So we're like, we're not from here, but you can try Tinseltown. And then so we left it at that, but then they carried on like following us, and then we thought, what the hell, like we could smell that they were
it's like as if they want drugs or something.
they really like stunk, and so we like tried to keep our distance.
Yeah.
And we were like, just try going there, and don't follow us, like, but they kept following us, so we tried to like leave that place, and we were walking really fast, like they could tell that we were scared.
Comments as well.
So you guys, they came and said we want to try halal, and obviously you guys fought. Obviously they're talking about food.
Yeah, but then they proceeded to say, oh no, like they were making hand gestures of headscarf, and they're like, no, like I want to try halal, and then they were pointing at me, and at that point, obviously, like where I come from, like being an Afghan, women are very strong-headed and like vocal about how they're treated. So I couldn't take that. I was like, how the hell is he thinking like that about me? And as I tried to like turn back around, and I was trying to like say, how dare you say that, my little sister, obviously she got scared, and you can tell from my voice I was so scared. I was so scared because of the things that are happening around us. And obviously like you think that nothing like that can happen to you, but when you're in that moment, all those thoughts come back flooding. And my little sister trying to pull me away, and she was like, let's go. And we were trying to like go, and then we
changed our route.
We changed our route. We went really fast, so like we can
kind of
lose them. And my friend said that, oh, let's go with that couple. They looked I think they looked Arab, so we were like, okay, if we go with them, they won't. Because we wanted to go back and forget about walk, forget about the food. We just wanted to get to our car. And
so basically they ruined your whole day. Yeah, they ruined your whole experience.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Where you guys just wanted to go, just chill with the sisters, go eat, and this is, you know, we live in the West where, you know, some people would be looking at this and be like, oh, it wasn't that deep in that context, you know, they didn't touch you. But if you think about it, it's very disturbing, you know, because at the end of the day, why would you have to feel as if though, you know, threatened, or even if not threatened, why should anyone have a damn right to approach you guys in any way, shape or form, you know?
Exactly. And there were people that said, why were you out at that time? Well, it's a society for both men and women. Like we shouldn't be able to, we should be able to go out and not be questioned. Why were you out? And you know how people question, oh, the way she was dressed. We were dressed completely, like we were covered from head to toe. But for them to like have the audacity to say that, it's just disgusting to think that someone would justify things like that. And it made us rethink. They call this a civilized society. Those people, the way they were acting, and the way later the police, how they were so calm about it. Not calm, but so casual about it. And the police lady goes to me, oh, I have been harassed as well. And I was like, well, this is my authority. And if they're like okay with it, who do I turn to? Who do I go to?
Okay, should we do this? Yeah, let's watch 19-second video, and then we're gonna elaborate a bit more. Yeah. So this is where. So what happened is, so you guys didn't record it, and then who recorded this? Then was it you or the other sister?
It was me. So what happens is, because this is probably the 4th or 5th time that he was now approaching us and following us, that I decided, because the thing is, my phone battery was around 2%, so I would have called the police there and then, but then I was worried if I call them and my phone dies, then I've got nothing. So I thought, let me just make a video, like a clip of what he's doing. So this is the clip that I managed to get.
Okay, so let's play this and let's see what's happened.
Do you really want me to tell the police?
No, I'm just.
Why do you want to talk to me? Okay? I said no. You're harassing me. You're harassing me.
Why are you laughing?
How am I laughing? You're harassing me.
Okay, don't worry.
What do you mean don't worry? Get out.
I can sense like the kind of trauma in your voice. Like I think would I be right if I said that you didn't, like, looking back, you're like, wow, did I actually say that? Do you feel like that?
I didn't show, like, I was so deep inside, I was so scared, I was shaking, but I didn't want to show him that, like, I didn't want to be weak in that moment. But
Yeah.
as soon as we got into the train, I broke down. Both my sister and my friend, they were obviously scared as well, but because I confronted him so close to me, he was
Yeah.
very close to me, as you can see in the video, and I was so scared because you know how acid attacks have been happening, and
Yeah.
he had a backpack on him.
Yeah.
I was so terrified, and in that moment all those thoughts come to you even more. So obviously I wasn't trying to show it, but I was so scared. And when the police came, like, my eyes were so red, even though they came like after an hour. I was still in that state of utter, it was disgust, and it was everything that was not, like, I couldn't express it to them. And the police lady kept asking me, tell me in detail all the things he said, and I couldn't begin to, like, tell him. I was just, and I was so shocked that I couldn't repeat what he had said. And obviously my friend and my sister were there, and they had heard all those things that he had said, and to a point where he was like, I want to sleep with you, why won't you, like, let me sleep with you? And I was like, go put a headscarf on your mom and then sleep with her if you're that desperate. And obviously they thought that was funny, and I wasn't trying to be funny. I was just so scared. I was genuinely so scared.
Yeah, because they kept saying that, oh, we want to know what's under all that clothing. We want to know what's under the headscarf, and that's what we want to try because we've never had it before. That's how, I mean, and some of the stuff I can't even begin to repeat.
Yeah.
And the way they were speaking, they had smirks on their faces, and it felt like they were scanning me through my clothes. You know, like, it felt like they could almost imagine me naked, and I hated that. I wanted to be at home at that point.
And you know, the thing you touched upon, something you said that some people will be like, oh, why are you guys out at night? Or some people say you didn't have the correct hijab. To be honest, Islamically, you can't really, like, say that, okay, you know, why are you out? It's you can't say, oh, it's your fault or etc. You know, because at the end of the day, you know, it's a public place, and it's not like you're going to a specific area where there's drunk men, etc. You know, we know how Oxford Street can be, but the thing is, we're not talking about a very specific area where there's just drunk men and all they do is just harass women, and you walk on the, like, you get what I'm trying to say. So I don't want you guys,
Exactly. We
don't
weren't
want you
in,
to feel,
like,
you guys, don't feel like, oh, it's my fault. And secondly, for example, you mentioned that you was dressed correctly. Yeah. The thing is, Islamically, you know, this is really important, because sometimes the people have this concept or think that, you know, because Islam tells a woman to dress in a modest way, and a man as well, but a woman is very distinct. So, for example, you have to wear the hijab and abaya, etc.
Yeah.
And you know, still in today's time, some sisters, you know, with the hijab, etc., they might wear tight clothes, or there might be sisters who don't wear the hijab, or there might even be women who there might be Muslim women that dress up outright inappropriately. The thing is, with the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells the believing men to lower their gaze first. Now, what that means is that as a Muslim man myself, how you're dressed, like, you're dressed because Allah tells you to, yeah? And you're trying to please him, you know? Because they know there's a whole misconception about, you know, I choose to wear like this. Not really. Like, as Muslim women and Muslim men, we don't choose. Like, I don't choose to dress up modestly. I'm told to dress up modestly because Allah wants me to. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Exactly,
and that, I believe, it liberates me, you know? And there are people that come and say, oh, I choose to dress up in a miniskirt. And I'm like, not really. You've got societal pressures. That's why there's this whole book. I don't know if you've read this book, sisters. I would highly recommend it. It's called Beauty Sick. So in this one specifically, it talks about how women are sexualized to such a level that they are actually starving themselves. So, you know, it's Ramadan and we're fasting, yeah? There are girls that are fasting, and when I mean fasting, they're starving themselves to have the perfect body. So if you think about it, they're actually starving themselves to have a perfect body. Most of them are not happy with their body. And if you read this book, it goes to in great detail with studies that show that. And the thing is, and the point I'm coming to is that regardless, as a Muslim man myself, or Muslim men in general, this concept of, oh, but she was asking for it, or oh, she was like this, or she was, look, as a Muslim man, I don't care if there's a woman walking naked. I have no right, number one, to look at her, let alone speak to her, let alone to touch her, or let alone anything. So because Allah tells us, tell the believing men and the believing women, of course, but it mentions the believing man to lower their gaze. So of course, Allah, for me, the criteria is I have to lower my gaze and have utmost respect for any woman and see them as my sister. That has to be the default position. Do you get what I'm trying to say? And so you should not ever feel that. Yes, Allah has ordered the woman to wear the hijab, etc. Because the biggest, greatest weakness for a man is a woman. However, that doesn't mean just because I have a weakness, for example, like the opposite gender, well, you go about it the right way. You get married. Nobody's saying stay single forever. You can get married. So I don't want you guys. I wanted to debunk those two misconceptions of it was out. It wasn't as if you guys were out at 1 a.m. or 2 a.m. and you're in a nightclub place. You was there to break your iftar. It got dark, etc. Okay, you're going to eat. Number two, you shouldn't feel guilty for that. Number two, the way you addressed even sisters. Wallahi, even if you came to me and said, Brother Ali, we don't wear the hijab, or yes, maybe I was wearing a bit of a tight clothing, I would say, sister, this incident is irrelevant. I would just say, sister, try to get close to Allah by wearing the hijab. I would not say, oh, sister, see, if you wore the hijab, what I'm just trying to say is these men are doing this because at the end of the day, you know what it is, and what it shows me is that for them to say this, and it's popularized in the context where, because a lot of girls in today's age, sadly, because they're systematically sexually objectified. I done a video like a couple of weeks ago where I was driving past Barking, and there's banners there, and you just sometimes you just tend to look at banners. Banners just come and go. There was different banners, and one of them popped up of a blonde girl, and they're marketing a metal company. It's a metal company. It's got nothing to do with it. She's a blonde girl, and she's got chili in her mouth, and she's like red hot deals or something like that. And I found that, and I was like, wow, this is the reason why women are so degraded, because the more you're making a woman, like, because the perception is, as men, look, we have a weakness towards the opposite gender, yes, but when they're sexually degraded, objectified systematically on TV, in the books, in the magazines, on social media, on banners, and wherever it may be, what men are registering in their head. And there was a study done a couple of years ago where they showed men, women in bikini, and they had obviously things in their head to see what part of the brain lights up. And I don't know if you guys heard this, but the part that lit up in the brain was the same part that is used for tool, like screwdriver, or I don't know, it might be scissors. So he actually didn't see her as a human being. So the thing is, that's crazy. That means that these men like this are walking around and they don't even see you as human. You're in their brain, because they watch pornography, and it's clear what the industry is about. They don't even see you as a co-human being. All they see you is a sexual object, so much so that this vile, disgusting man is saying, oh, I want to see what's under the hijab, because they're bored of all the girls show their body. What's different? Muslim girls, they cover up. That's interesting. That's challenging, because the challenge has not been left in the context where this girls are just dressing up how they want, like it's half naked, whatever it may be, and it still doesn't justify for people to harass them. But what I'm trying to say is they see that as a sign of maybe she's interested. Do you get what I'm trying to say? And catcalling, they were done, after this girl who got killed and murdered, by a police officer. Do you know that? Did you hear about it?
Yeah.
So like it just shows you. And there was a study that there was a research done where they found that they corrected it. It was 91 or 93% of women admitted that they were sexually harassed. Obviously, they said the correct numbers were 87 or 80%.
But I'd like to add to that. Because everyone's so busy that they just don't report it, and we didn't want to let it go because there were so many young girls from university, as we said, going back and forth on those streets, and they said that there's no cameras, so for them we wanted to report as well.
What do you think is the reason why, like, if there's anything you want to add on, like, why do you think men are behaving like this? What do you think the cause is?
What the one that's approaching me, or the men that don't say anything?
Men in general, like the stuff that I mentioned, like, you can agree with that, or if there's anything you want to add on.
Obviously, because they don't, you know how jihad with nafs is held so upheld in Islam, and even our Muslim brothers, they in today's society, they've forgotten that the striving and struggling from within, it starts from within, but obviously everything that's being fed to them and how they're exposed to everything. And women being objectified, and they only look at their moms and their sisters with a respectful they didn't step up. I think it's because maybe they thought that it wasn't our business, and she's not my mom, she's not my sister, so it's none of my business. So they just carried on.
Was there Muslim men? What, Muslim men walking past?
All of them.
Yeah,
Most
there's
of
a
them are
mixture.
Arab.
Yeah, young girls, guys. It was a mixture of people. Families were walking past, but no one literally said a word. And in relation to what you were saying, like what, for example, what you saw in Barking and the picture that you saw, is, I think, yeah, you're right, because the thing is, even little things like these, they're degrading women, and then you'll have men like these ones that approached us who think it's okay, or this is how you're supposed to treat women, or this is how you should be talking to women.
I don't think they think it's okay, but I think they think they can get away with it because most time they can.
Yeah, exactly. You know, yeah. Well, it's what message would you give to Muslim men that are listening to this? You know, like, because sadly, a lot of Muslims as well, you know, men as well, sadly, you know, they should know much better, you know, when it comes to these things. And you know, there is like, if like, you know, I discussed this in my marriage documentary. You know, I know it's a bit late, 5 years late, 6 years late, but the thing is, it's sisters, is that, you know, I had like moments when I was like looking to get married as well. For example, I do ask, like, I have a specific moment with Mufti men when I say, okay, Mufti, if I was to see a sister in public, let's say I've just came to see about, you know, there is an Islamic etiquette of approaching someone, you know. So what we're seeing is like, if somebody was interested in a sister, there is, obviously it's better, you know, if you have your sister, to get your sister approached. But you know, in these instances, these things do happen. You know, let's be real, it does happen. There is an etiquette, you know, there is a way you can approach somebody in a respectful way. And look, sister, you know, I'm not coming with the ill intention that if I'm in, like, can I speak to your father? There is an adab uslub to things, how it can be done. And I know there's a pros and cons to that, you know, because at the end of the day, he is a total stranger, you know, and the times that we live in, of course, there's a lot of cons as well, and there's pros as well. And as long as it's done in Islamic, according, in a nice way, where the person's intention is not that and he wants to speak to your father, that's a whole discussion in itself. But what message would you give to Muslim men who are just outright disrespectful of, you know, even saying salam alaikum in a flirtatious way, or like, oh, mashallah, inshallah? What message would you give them? Because I've got a message to give them, but coming from you guys, what would you say to them? Because they're going to be listening to this.
Yeah, I think they think it's a joke or it's not that deep, but for us girls, it makes us think how we are. Like, it makes us doubt and question the way we present ourselves and the way we carry ourselves, when most times it's not even our fault. But what you said about getting married and being young, I think because society puts so much pressure on young men that they have to attain a certain lifestyle, have a job, have a house. It's not easy most of the times, but obviously Allah says that it all comes with it's all gonna come to you. So if you wait on it, how long are you gonna wait? How many years? How many years till you know that you're financially stable? Obviously, it's a good attitude to have goals, to have something to want, but it's not realistic. And obviously, how I was gonna say that it's easier for them to have girlfriends. It's so much easier. Let's be realistic. Even Muslims in today's day, and it's so much harder to approach the parents and like speak to them and then get the whole marriage started.
But that's the thing, you know.
They want an easy way out.
Yeah, but the thing is, this is, you see, that's the reason why this is one of the biggest problems that we have.
In relation to the question that you asked, just one more thing that I'd like to add to that is, like, to say to these, especially Muslim men, is that you'll always see that they will be the same men that will be really protective of their own sisters, but they think it's okay to, make derogatory comments towards other Muslim women, or as long as, okay, that's not my sister, it's okay for me to talk to her like that. But if it is my sister, then that's a problem. So my message to them would be to have the same approach to other Muslim women that you would have with your own sister as well.
Exactly. You know, one thing they don't realize is that, and this is, it's corruption in the land, because if you think about it, well, their thinking process is very stupid as well, because it's like, you will go and do that to somebody else's sister or daughter or mom or whoever it may be, but what you don't realize, one second, please. What you don't realize is that what if there is if there are 100 men like you, that is being done to another woman, another person's sister and mother, and if there's 1,000 men like you or 100,000 men like you, your own mom and your own wife and your own sister is going to be prone to someone like you. So what they don't understand is that what they're doing, it's going to come back to them, because if men all behave like them, then it's going to happen to your mom, your sister. And I think one of the reasons, and I was talking about the big con of dating, if you think about it, it's popularized, like, get to know each other, date. It's the biggest con for females, because you're going to be in a relationship. There's no commitment. When I mean commitment, like you perceive as commitment, yeah, okay. There's no marriage. Doesn't speak to your family, yeah. Can manipulate you, yeah. And I know there are women that manipulate men as well. He can use it for sexual desires, yeah. If you think about it, the guy's got no damn responsibility. Like, if you think about it, I'm thinking, no damn, like, there's no. I understand, not understand, but if you think about it, why would he get married? You don't need to pay for a wedding. You don't need to pay for mahar. Don't need to see your brother or your dad, because they might, see right through me. I get what I want. It's a win-win situation. So that's the reason why. That's the reason why Muslim men as well, they're going down that route. If every Muslim, let's say sister or whoever it may be, if our sisters know their self-worth, and I always say that, I always say, you guys are worth more than being a girlfriend. Because if you think about it, if every woman said, no, you have to marry me, men have no choice but to marry. But because that's not happening, and those options are there, they're thinking, forget that, marriage, mahar, meet family, that's long. So I think that's one of the reasons, and that's why you can see the corruption in society, how it has a domino effect across board to everyone. I'm sorry that you guys had to go through that, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect you guys, inshallah. And yeah, I really appreciate you guys coming here, inshallah, because it's important, with these kind of stuff. I like to have sisters have their say on the matter, because you know how you felt. I don't know. I can do a reaction video and just talk and just, oh, this is wrong, etc. But to hear firsthand from you guys and how you felt, and even hearing your voice there where, it seemed like you was really scared. I just want people that's watching this at home, especially our Muslim brothers as well, to really understand and know that, respecting a woman is not based on how she dresses, or she's on it, or if she's on it, who cares? Or if she's moving like a, I'm not going to mention the word, whatever it may be, or they've even made a term like something Jabi. Yeah, I'm not even going to mention it. Yeah. So it's these are not valid reasons for you to be like, oh, she wants to, she doesn't mind having intimacy, so I'll treat her like that. That's absolutely disgusting. As a believer, as a man yourself, I don't care if that woman's, whatever she says, oh, she's on it, she wants to, whatever. Yeah, you need to fear Allah, because
of course, because it only defines you. Your actions define you. It doesn't matter what she's doing.
Yeah, and so much so that what you said, one of the things, and I'll end on this, is that you said that you feel when Muslim men come and say to you, oh, mashallah, this, that, you feel rubbish about yourself, and you're like, oh, am I doing something wrong? Oh, is it the way I was dressed? Oh, is it this? Why do you have to feel like that? Why do you have to feel as if it's you? Why is it you? Why is it not them? So the fact that you feel like that is problematic. He should feel ashamed. He should be thinking, I made her feel like that. Not, oh, like we shouldn't have this perception of, and once again, there has to be a balance as well. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Because at the end of the day, there was a comedian that I was watching, and this comes from, Dave Chappelle?
Yeah, heard of
okay, so basically, I used to watch some of his stuff before, yeah? But he says something interesting, and I want to give it context where he would say, for example, some girls say, for example, just because I'm dressed up in a miniskirt or really revealing everything, it doesn't mean that I'm a prostitute. Now, he gives an analogy. He says, it's like my house is on fire and I see someone walking down the road and they are dressed up in a fireman's outfit. Oh, no, he says police officer. He says, imagine somebody's robbing me on gunpoint and I see somebody walking past and he's got a police uniform on. So I go, officer, can you help me? I'm being robbed. And the man turns around. It's a bit funny. He goes, excuse me, just because I'm dressed up as a police officer doesn't mean I'm a police officer. The point he's trying to make here is that if women are dressed up in a certain way, in a certain way, sadly, you're going to attract bad attention, sadly, And I'm not saying that's across board, because we saw that even though you guys were dressed up correctly, you still had idiots. what we're trying to say is that what Islam does is it says prevention is better than cure. So Islam just goes to the root of the problem and deals with both the man's side of it by educating them and tend to fear Allah, lower the gaze, and also for the woman to dress up in an appropriate manner. And I think I'll just end on that. And may Allah bless you guys, and thank you for being on here. Till next time, brothers and sisters, hope you guys enjoyed that video, inshallah. If there's any comments you would like to make, inshallah, in the comment section, and share this with your friends and family, especially men in your family, inshallah. And I'm not, well, be careful when sharing. I don't want them to feel like you're indirecting them. Just share it with the family. Yeah, just share it across board and let people benefit, inshallah. And that's it. May Allah bless you guys and enjoy Ramadan. And don't forget, guys, I'm trying to feed 300,000. I'm trying to raise 300,000 meals. There's a link at the bottom, inshallah. Please give to that. Next time, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.